You know what I mean? To get us where we need to be. You guys ready? Everyone ready? Right? Really excited about today. So let's get right into it. Lock in. All right. Hello. Welcome to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Sunday, September the 4th. And here in the United States, it is Labor Day weekend. I don't know. These? I don't think it's making any difference, though. Yeah, no, it's all good. But it is Labor Day weekend here in the United States. And I think tomorrow most people have off, right? So tomorrow I think we're going to follow suit and take the day off as well for tomorrow, even though for the most part I'd rather be coaching.
That's awful. Sorry.
You know, I would rather be coaching for me.
No, I need the day off. You can't coach when you're not enthusiastic or tired. So yeah.
I'd rather be coaching.
Cool, you can have my lessons.
Well, I don't like being without you though. I don't like riding solo.
Okay. There'll be no one out there, Justin.
All right, a couple shout outs to start today's show. Number one, a shout out to a young man by the name of Jelani Sarr. So Jelani Sarr, Sarr. He is part of the YTech Strings team. I was just talking to Igor Savage, the owner of the company, just a moment ago. And Jelani is a fine young player, and he is in the U.S. Open Junior Boys Singles. Yeah, that's a big deal, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge deal, number one. Number two, Carla and I have followed Jelani because of our affiliation with YTech, and Igor always puts out, pictures of the young man. So anyway, today Jelani played his first round match against, what was his name? Bueno Gonzalez? Gonzalez Bueno, was that it?
Yes, Gonzalez Bueno.
Okay, so anyway, so I was reading a message Igor just sent me. So Jelani played his first round match today, and Igor just told me, against a Peruvian player by the name of Gonzalez Bueno. So early in the match, Jelani was up 4-1 in the first and ultimately lost the first set 7-5 and then lost the second set 6-4. Okay. For me, tennis tournaments at this stage are like a progress report, right? Why do we play a tournament? It's like a progress report. If you're in class, you're taking, physics or whatever you're taking, you have some tests in the middle of the semester before you take the final. And, you get whatever grade on it. And that reminds you of what you need to work on, right? You understand? That's what I tell my kids. I don't put my kids in every single tournament just to, be part of the tournament atmosphere. It's important. But I want to pick and choose my tournaments carefully so as we can improve on the things that caused your demise or your defeat on the practice court moving forward. Like a lot of parents that we know over the years will play a different tournament like every 2 weeks. This tournament, that tournament, this tournament, that tournament. And they don't allow their kids time to get better. Now I'm speaking at 12s, 14s, 16s level, not where Jelani is playing almost pro, right? By the way, the opponent he played was 611 in the world. He already had an adult ranking. So a good showing by him either way. And also he is coached by his father, Andre. So, hey, you got to give love to Andre. We know how difficult it is to be a coach, and especially coaching your son. It's a difficult thing. And why is it so difficult? Because your kids always want to talk back a little bit, even though I don't allow my kids to do that to me. Carla, on the other hand, she's a little softer about that, right? Tough girl, but when it comes to her kids, she lets them take an inch every once in a while, and sometimes they take a mile.
They're kids.
So anyway, my question is to Jelani, best of luck moving forward, first of all. And number two, he plays with Hexagon X. For me, Hexagon X, the maroon, the red, is like the YTech's flagship string. And I told Igor this 4 years ago, right? Something about Hexagon X is absolutely gnarly, and it looks great. A full bed of it glistens in the sun. You can put a stencil on it, and it stands out and hits you in the face. I am enjoying their Square X Sharp now, the 18 gauge. I've been playing with that currently, such a thin string, and I still don't have any notching, and I've been whacking the ball.
Yeah.
But my question to Jelani would be Jelani, you just went through your progress report. You played a tournament. What is it that you need to work on moving forward?
Well, I see here that he's ranked number 2 in the boys 18 in the nation. He's won 4 ITF international tournaments, which is not easy to do. Played in Savannah Challenger May this year and practice partner Tennis Sangren and Jack Sock, your favorite people.
Yeah, right. So he's working out with him?
And he qualified for his U.S. Open Juniors in the main draw, which we saw. They've set up a GoFundMe page because, as you know, traveling is very expensive.
Oh, really?
They have. I'll put up in the information for you guys if you want to help out this kid. You know, I was watching.
I think, and sorry to look at my phone while we're doing this, but I'm talking to Ivor. He owns YTech Streams, by the way. Wonderful gentleman from South Africa, lives in Georgia, Savannah, and runs a really, really, really nice business. So he just sent me a message about the GoFundMe. Okay, this is from Ivor. He says they created a GoFundMe account, which you probably saw on some of our posts, for Jelani and his training and traveling expenses. I can send you the link if you want to feature it. Yes, please do, Ivor. To make it easier, I can post a link again on our group page. This is the YTech Streams group page on Facebook. They do have Instagram as well. And they do have the YouTube, but I think the YouTube channel doesn't get updated a lot. I understand that because we, besides shows, we don't have really a lot of time to do practice and streaming videos anymore, right? But he says to make it easier, I can post a link again on our group page so your viewers can get it there. Just let me know.
Yeah, tell him to do it. That's
fine.
I mean, I've been in his shoes, so I definitely know I couldn't afford it, so I had to stop. But it seems like he's been playing tennis since he was 3. His UTR is a 12.89, which means he can play at any college he wants.
Let's go, Jelani. Let's go.
That's very good. I mean,
let's go.
ITF World Junior ranking is number 89. So.
And the opponent he just played again already has a pro ranking at 611 in the world. And that's highly respectable, right?
So apparently he had a serious knee injury while competing in 2018 Winter National Championships, and he has worked. It says here he is focusing on working hard and achieving his goal. I mean, keep going. Don't let anything stop you.
All right. So a picture of Jelani, and if you look closely, you probably won't be able to see it here, but if you open it up, you can see the white text. All right. So here's Jelani. Let's go, bro.
Good job.
Keep working, man. What's the progress report going to be? What are we going to work on when we start practicing? What are we going to work on?
That looks like Dad right there, and I guess
right?
That's Mom.
Yep. You can show the picture.
Yeah. I'm blurry, but there you go.
Okay. Changing sides. What do you think he's thinking about in this picture? Look at his facial expression.
He's like, damn.
Trying to figure it out, right?
I don't know, one or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only he knows.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was probably thinking, man, I had a 4-1.
Only he knows. Yeah.
So we know we have the ability to win that match, but a few things were finally figured out maybe on the other side of the court, and maybe that was exploited, and maybe the score ended up. But we know if we got a 4-1, two things: either A, the player Bueno or Gonzalez Bueno was a slow starter, maybe, or on the other hand, there was some type of weakness that he found, and he began to exploit that weakness, right? So whatever that is, work on that. And if you ever want to come play at our club here, be our guest anytime, any place. You don't have to ask. Okay. Good luck moving forward, Jelani. Much love to all of you, and as always, much love to Ivor Savage and YTech Team YTech. We enjoy being part of that, and we're blessed to do so. Next shout out is going to be once again to Jack Nensteel and his mother. And his mother's name, I'm so sorry. I always call her Mom. Karen. I see her, I'm like, hey, Mom.
It's not hard. It's Karen.
Karen.
Yes.
Kind of like Mom better. They have been sending us many pictures from the U.S. Open as they are there. They were there earlier today, looking like they were on outside courts, maybe watching some junior tennis, maybe.
I'm not sure. What's up, Team Bros?
Let's go. So, and the last shout out is going to go to Ella Noir. So you see in comments in the chat, you see a lot of times Ella Noir's comments. And yesterday we talked ad nauseum about Serena Williams, namely her lack of thanking or congratulating rather Tomljanovic after the match concluded, right? We talked about, we know she's the GOAT and the best player ever, but her sportsmanship and ladylike qualities are like near zero, right? But Ella Noir, I guess, so a lot of you watch the show when it's not live. You might be working, or it might be in the middle of the night where you are, or really early in the morning, time zones. And she put in a comment after the show yesterday, okay, about that topic. So I wanted to read Ella Noir's comment. She's a longtime 5K family member, and I felt like it was a pretty concise and good comment, okay? So Ella Noir said this: the Serena Williams farewell took attention away from Novak Djokovic and his situation this first week. The U.S. Open got more attention amid baseball playoffs, college football, and NFL preseason. Okay, hold on. I didn't expand it. Oh shoot, I go. I'm sorry. I took the wrong picture. Shoot a monkey. Shoot me. Don't hate me. I can find it real quick. I screenshotted it, and I didn't realize I didn't click read more to expand it. So here we go. I'll get right back to it.
Here it is.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, she said Tomljanovic was the winner and made a name for herself at this tournament. That was the end.
Yeah, so again, the Serena farewell took attention away from Djokovic's situation this first week. U.S. Open got more attention amid baseball, playoffs, college football, and NFL preseason.
That's good for tennis.
Tomljanovic was the winner and made a name for herself at this tournament.
Yes, I mean, they should thank Serena, on the other hand, because we don't usually talk, or people that don't know about tennis usually don't talk much about tennis. You know what I mean? So this is good for tennis.
It's good for tennis, but it's not good for young players or any player for that matter to watch a match conclude and not congratulate your opponent with that one.
You should always congratulate your opponent at the end of the day once you're done. For anyone, I don't care who I love Nadal, I love Serena, I love many players, but I think you should have some type of class. Once your opponent beats you, even if you hate losing, you should say congratulations, good luck. Because at the end of the day, it's over and tennis is done and life resumes, and there are a lot more important things in life. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's very important to be nice, humble, and have good sportsmanship. Very important.
Agree?
Yeah.
Sportsmanship is a domino effect. If you lose your sportsmanship, we tend to get upset, ticked off, and we end up making mistakes. So sportsmanship, sometimes we don't think about it. But for some people, sportsmanship is a disaster. Look, I'll pick on my own oldest son, Jonathan. When he would get mad during a tennis match, it was over. He was going to win the game. But sometimes players like, say, Djokovic or Medvedev or Kyrgios, they can lose their sportsmanship and sometimes they get better. Does that make any make any sense?
At least they congratulate their opponents, Yeah. That's one thing you do got to give those guys, They definitely congratulate their opponents.
Yeah.
She should have done that. Kind of sad she didn't, But then again, she's been a diva for a long time. And the New York crowd, I told you, they're rough. And there's a lot of celebrities, I think Jack mentioned it when he texted you. A lot of these celebrities, they did the same thing to Osaka when she was trying to win a slam. They did the same thing to her, not knowing who Osaka would be,
Yeah.
I think Andreescu kind of stopped that because she beat her pretty quick,
Mm-hmm.
She didn't allow that. But they did it to Osaka. That's another match I remember. The same thing happening, celebrities, the crowd, booing and stuff, and all the attention was for Serena, The 5K tennis is blinging. His is big, mine is smaller.
What are you talking about?
He's at the 5K.
Oh.
Yeah. When I can afford it, I'm going to go get one of those, like the baseball players.
Like the
dog chains.
Exactly. I like that. I like that. I do. I like that.
I mean, geez. Like, walk around New York in the dark with something like that.
How long will that last?
I wore a gold chain in school. I was in high school freshman year, coast to Coney Island, and I got jumped. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize I had my necklace out.
Yeah, and a lot of time, though, also, not during the games, they're wearing the real stuff in games. But a lot of times in public, they have a match, but it's not real. So if it gets, snacked off or ripped off, usually the real stuff's either on the playing field, baseball-wise, mm-hmm. Or it's in a safe. And then if they go out in public to a party or something like that, generally the same jeweler that made it for them made them a fake, and they can wear that, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
he probably pulled off the look, right?
What?
Again, show his tattoos. But again, actually go to Honduras. Walk with that necklace. See how long you last, Justin.
Yeah, I wouldn't be there.
I don't think you last about 20 seconds.
By the way, speaking of bling, Carla's new shoes.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we got the Dunk Low switch, so everything's switched. See, colors in the back, colors up top, colors in the front. Pretty nice shoe, right? Let's go. Also, another shoe we added to the collection are the Citrus 7s. Added these. Okay, really nice shoe, suede, loving them. Loving the Citrus 7s. And the last one, the New York Mets are doing really good this season, right? The New York Mets haven't won a World Series since, I think, 1986. I didn't write that. I'm thinking 1986 was the last Mets World Series. I'm guessing. But the Nike Dunk line, the skateboard version, or Nike SB Dunk Mid, came out with a Mets shoe. So I got the Mets shoe. So this is the Mets shoe. Really nice. On the inside of this, it's got a, what does that got? It's got an apple that says home run. And then on the inside of this one, it's got a number 7, which I thought was the 7th inning stretch, but Carla said it's for the 7 train that runs in New York.
Exactly.
And I might have showed these at one point before.
You did, yeah.
But I just got the switch laces though. Okay, so I switched laces. Okay, all right. Anyway, thank you much. Those shout outs were very nice. I wanted to do a quick update on how many people are left for the $700 in cash for those of you that put in your predictions for the men's final, women's final, and both winners. There are 2 people left.
Let's go, Nick Kyrgios.
Yes.
Let's go, Nick. Come on, Nick.
Yeah, as you can.
Not that I like him.
Yeah, as you can imagine, we do not want you to win. I mean, you know, we would be happy for you, but when I go,
I'm gonna be rooting for Nick.
Yeah.
Let's go, Nick. Come on.
Yeah, when we go to the bank and withdraw $700 and send it to you, I'm gonna be like, damn. But let me tell you who they have left. So be riding high out there. Whenever you watch this, you are alive. His predictions for the finals was Rafael Nadal to defeat Daniil Medvedev. On the women's side, his selections were Jessica Pegula to defeat Ons Jabeur.
We need Jabeur to lose.
Okay, or Pegula, either one.
I'm going for Jabeur.
And on the second person's team was curling tennis. And curling tennis is a good fantasy player. He's a good finals predictor. He's always in the thick of it, right? Mm-hmm. Curling tennis chose Coco Gauff to defeat Jessica Pegula. And he also selected Carlos Alcaraz to defeat Daniil Medvedev.
Down Alcaraz.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Curling tennis, we love you. You know that. But I don't think there's any way that Alcaraz is going to win this U.S. Open. It's possible. And honestly, I don't think Pegula will make the final. I don't think so. Do you think Pegula will make the final?
I think it's pretty. She plays Kvitova next.
Speaking of Coco Gauff and shoes, before we leave this topic, Coco Gauff released her first signature shoe, the New Balance CG1, the Coco Gauff one. It came out in 2 colorways. Here is one of them. Tell me if you like it. Okay, pretty plain. I'm not. I like shoes, but this one doesn't just pop out to my senses.
It kind of looks like the old Reebok sneaker I used to wear.
Or looks like some of the Adidas shoes with the jagged type edges. Adidas always does that with their edges of their midsole. And then here is the second one. There you go. And this was the same shoe, but a different colorway.
Looks like a Reebok old shoe. Same thing.
Right. And yeah, she means that because of the 2 stripes going down the sides.
No, I remember back in the 90s we had something like that.
They look very Adidas-ish, right? So what do you prefer? If you pick those shoes, would you get the rainbow version or the white and pink version? And B, do you like them at all? Nice shoe and good for her to have her signature shoe.
Absolutely.
Good for her. I don't particularly care for them too much. I like a more Jordan-esque / vapor / caged look, right?
I'm going to try to find these shoes because I remember wearing something like that. So he says I like New Balance.
Do you remember the Reebok Pump? Or you have?
Yeah, see how similar it is, the Reebok Pump to those shoes? There's a lot of similarities with her shoe. We used to have the pump shoes. That's what I remember these shoes. I had those shoes. Mm-hmm. See? There it is.
Have you heard of the Reebok Pump?
That's the one I'm talking about.
It would have a little ball on the tongue and you would squeeze it and it would squeeze the shoe on your foot?
That's what it reminds me of.
That's the pump?
That's the pump.
Yeah, see, if you look at the tongue.
It's similar.
Look at the tongue of the shoe and it has like a ball and you squeeze the ball on the tongue it pumps up the tongue.
It looks so similar. When I saw the shoes, I was like, wait a minute, I used to wear something like that.
Yeah, and didn't you have a little button on the side that would release the air?
Yeah, that's not. It looks. They weren't very creative with the shoe, were they?
Reebok has always been kind of plain.
No, but I'm talking about New Balance because they look similar to the ones I just showed you.
Yeah. Okay, topic number 1. Great introduction. That was a 20-minute introduction. That was like a 5-set match introduction. Topic number 1, and this has to do with Florence Chan, by the way. Florence Chan, as if you guys follow us and are part of the 5K family, and I mean that, when we were talking to Darren LeBeau the other day, Darren LeBeau, you probably all know who he is, maybe so, maybe not. He has an Instagram page as well. I think it's LeBeau1 or LeBeau Tennis. Anyway, we were talking to him on the phone recently, and he was saying, I like watching or I like participating when you guys go live because it makes me feel like I'm sitting on the couch right next to you, right? And I think that's why we do it in the first place, because we feel the same way, vice versa, right? Okay. Anyway, where was I going with that?
I have no clue.
Oh yes, Florence Chan though is part of that type of.
Yes, I love Florence.
Yeah,
even if I wasn't getting on her today, I was just in general. I was saying in general, like her comment was great because I feel. Well, you want me to read her comment?
Yeah, read her comment, and the context of this comment is, and by the way, we love you a lot. She's like beautiful to me. She's a beautiful soul and a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And she bought me the special release, the special edition, the SE Lacoste Novak Djokovic hat, where there's a little cartoon on the front that looks like Djokovic. I didn't think it's upstairs, but anyway, I think I've showed it before. But this comment has to do with her Florence saying that, quote, something along the lines of, I haven't watched any tennis because Djokovic isn't playing.
Right. She said, I have not watched a match at all. Now I know I'm not a tennis fan. I'm only a Novak fan. Ha 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 ha. And I said, Florence Chance, that's the case for 80% of Novak fans, which means you guys don't love tennis, and that is bad. And I'm not trying to get on her, but I think that's bad for tennis. We want to promote tennis, and that doesn't promote tennis. And she says, it is who I am. I have other interests, so I'm not a fan of tennis. And I said, it's not you. It's all those that call themselves diehard tennis fans. I love Pete Sampras, and when he retired, I was bummed, but I kept watching. Novak is great, but his tennis is not beautiful to watch, just like Nadal. They are actually pretty boring to watch, unless Novak does a Spider-Man move or Nadal an incredible shot. I think that's where Serena beats both. She brought more people into the game. And she says, well, yes, that's why I understand myself. I'm not a tennis fan. I'm just a Novak fan. And I have no interest to watch when he is not playing. So now I only call myself a Novak fan as I realize the reality. I would rather watch TV than watching tennis. So I guess when Novak retires, I will not watch anymore unless I find someone I really like. It's okay, but just not lying to oneself saying tennis fans, he or she is not. I don't even turn on YouTube to watch. And Rahesh is the same way.
Yes, I was going to mention Rahesh.
So, which tells me that they really don't know about tennis then, because you would have to watch many, many, many players to understand the game of tennis.
So let me ask everyone a question. Are you the type of fan that only watches tennis for one player, or are you a fan of the whole game? There's a lot of people that just watch a particular sport because of one boxer. Let me give you a prime example, two of them. A lot of people could care less about watching professional golf, whether it's PGA or Live 2 or anything, unless Tiger Woods was playing. Let's flip it to basketball. Some people could care less about watching basketball unless Jordan was playing, or unless LeBron's playing, or Steph Curry. Some people could care less about boxing unless Mike Tyson was fighting.
Right.
So I think we have to understand that these type of athletes get paid the big bucks because of that. And
again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're not promoting. We want to grow a sport, to grow tennis, for people to buy the merchandise, to promote the sport. You need a fan that loves the sport and not just one person. That doesn't help tennis, especially when tennis is a dying, in my opinion, sport. You need a whole bunch of players to capture. I think Serena did that. She captured many, and her sisters. They captured many people in the 90s to want to go out and play, to invest in lessons, to invest in tennis gear, to get that USTA membership, to want their kids to play. Yeah. And I think that's fine that you're a Novak fan, but it definitely doesn't help the sport that I love, the sport that I'm passionate for. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like, you just like one person, that's bad for us.
But that makes that person happy, and that's okay.
Well, that's fine for them, but that's what I'm saying. That we need tennis players out there to. I'm not talking about Novak. I'm talking about players out there to make people love tennis, to be interested in tennis. You know what I mean? We need more of those players. We need someone with an inspirational story. I think someone like Coco Gauff could bring more people into tennis. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
She's the type of player that has that power to get people. Emma didn't do it, and don't tell me that kids are playing because Emma won a U.S. Open.
No, okay, you're right. So I think what you're looking for is the reason why people are magnetized or drawn to Coco Gauff is because she has positive energy.
Right.
By the way, before this comment goes away, let me read it. I'm sorry to deviate from the topic. It's a good one. William Spencer out there, what's up, bro? William Spencer says this. We were talking about shoes, and I'm a sneakerhead. You know that. I show shoes sometimes and sometimes do videos about them, and I collect them as an investment. I wear them, yes, but I try to get a shoe that I know if I have to sell it because it's a rainy day, then I can get my money back, or maybe just lose a little bit, or maybe even make more. But William Spencer says, buy a pair of Coco's New Balance now, then sell them in a couple of years for $5 because they're a New Balance and no one cares. This is a perfect comment. You're right. You're right. New Balance doesn't hold a lot of residual value. Now, I'll tell you one line of shoes in the tennis shoe world that will hold its value or make even more after the fact. Number one is actually a Djokovic shoe, the Novak Djokovic A6 FF2, not the FF2 Speed, but the FF2. By personal experience, I bought a pair of the blue, kind of the camo bottom, but all blue and white FF2s. I bought a size 10 because during COVID, all the 9.5s were sold out. I wear 9.5. So I bought a pair of the 10s. I ended up having to wear not only 2 pairs of socks, but 3 pairs of socks to get them to be, not looking like boats on my feet. I don't like a big looking shoe on my feet. If it looks like I have a boat, it doesn't look right. So I like it to fit not too tight, but, snug. And the 10s just kept moving on me a bit. And I don't like to tie my shoes. I like to lace them like these 7s, right? I like to lace them so the laces stick out. I don't want to tie them. And if I want to tie them, I get one of these lace locks, right? You see the lace lock? So you should know how a lace lock works, I'm guessing, but you just put it through and pull, and you end up like this, right? So you end up like that with a lace lock, you see?
I think you're just obsessed with shoes.
But anyway, so I bought a pair of these shoes. They were big, and I ended up putting like some custom laces in it from like laced up laces, like some Jordan cement laces, so they flare out the sides. And I was like, man, I can't wear these. I'm gonna sell them and get another pair. I bought them for I think $160, and I sold them used for $250 plus shipping. So I made $90 less the fees to eBay and PayPal. So I probably made $75 plus I wore them about 10 times. And the person that bought them was extremely satisfied, 100% feedback. So if you take care of them, they'll come back around. Like those Citrus 7s right there, I spent $200 on, and I know I can get $300 for them now, pre-owned, right? So just take care of your shoes, like Fish says. Whatever you do, take care of your shoes, right? Anyway, how many of you only watch tennis for a specific person or a specific few people, right?
I love the sport, so for me, I like watching. Yes, there are people that are boring that you just can't watch. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about we need more players to bring people into the game, right? We need players that are positive, that are exciting, that you can feel them, you can relate to them. We just don't need one. We need many. So for me, I watch tennis because I can learn a lot, from watching them. It gets me excited when I see different shots or I see how they fight or, how good they act. That's the reason why I watch tennis. I don't watch it just for Nadal. Honestly, I'm a big Nadal fan, but he's boring for me. I don't enjoy watching Nadal, by the way. Not the type of game that I would teach my kids. Just boring tennis. It bores me to death sometimes to watch him.
His uncle Tony
says
the same thing. His own family member says the same thing.
Djokovic, I don't enjoy watching much. This is the same type of thing, 20 bounces, just like Chilik, which I can't stand watching, but I do watch because there are things you can learn. But I don't get excited,
Who do you enjoy watching?
I'm not the biggest Roger Federer fan, but I actually enjoy watching the guy play. I like Wawrinka. It gets me excited to watch his one-handed backhand, the shots he comes up with, I even like Nick Kyrgios, not him, but some of the shots that he comes up with, he does make tennis a little bit fun, Murray, I just can't. I can't do it. It's tough. I like players like Collins, even though he doesn't like her, because she's fiery and she fights. Nadal is not boring, Carla. What are you saying? He is boring. It's the same routine.
Real quickly, don't lose that train of thought.
I'm like, what is this?
Ivor just sent me Jelani Sarr's GoFundMe page.
I already had it.
And let's show it.
Okay.
Anyway, this is for, again, a young developing junior player that's really good. And we all know how much plane tickets cost to go anywhere. And, you know, you want to have a parent or somebody with him and his dad is coaching him. So his GoFundMe page is here.
You need to copy it on the link. I can type it. That's not going to.
Okay, put it in comments and I'll read it to you. It says Jelani, Jelni, Sarr, Sarr, Jelani Sarr, tennis, training, and travel. And as of now, his family has raised $13,787.
Which is not going to be much.
Of $35,000.
There's not going to be much.
Now, as coaches, as players, we've been around all levels of the game, especially Carla. $13,000 is not going to get you, but maybe a couple international plane tickets and a couple of hotel rooms, much less to make your way on tour. Carla said this earlier today when we were talking to Ivor about Jelani. Carla, you said what you said in exactly this, and I'll ask you the question I already know the answer to. You said it takes a lot of what, or at least some what, to make it on tour. What was that what? Luck? Luck.
Absolutely, yes.
So do you agree or disagree that to make it on Pro Tour, if your pockets aren't extremely deep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
If your pockets aren't deep, does it involve some luck? Meaning
Absolutely.
Who you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money. That won't last them long. It just won't. I mean, the traveling alone, the hotels, the food, everything's up, right?
Yeah. And did you
type
it in comments?
Yes. Traveling means that you got to get on a plane, right?
Exactly.
How much are the tickets now?
Look,
you know, it's very expensive.
Yeah, Carla and I are trying to plan a trip to go to Colorado, which is in the same country, next year when our oldest son graduates.
He doesn't graduate next year, in 2 years.
Well, he's a junior, so at the end of next year.
At the end of next year.
Yes. We are already trying to put pennies away, so in a year and a half, we'll, at least for the two of us, hopefully be able to fly out there to see it, right? So imagine this young man, dad's teaching him, you know, do what you can, whatever. I'll make sure we do something when we get off the air. Okay, so to squash the topic, are any of you people that only watch tennis for one player? And I do know one thing and one thing for certain, that most Roger Federer fans only watched it because of him.
Yeah, and that's sad too. You know, Sir John, your comment is funny because I find myself.
Oh, Sir John.
Good
to see you, bro.
I find myself doing the same thing. So he said, let's cheer for any other player to win besides Nadal. So when I don't want a player to win, I actually watch that match and cheer against them. And now, you know, I'll be like, bleep, 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 you idiot.
Yes.
So I'll watch that match just to like trash them.
I agree.
Even though I don't like watching them. I do that. I'm like, no more, blah, blah, blah. I do the same thing. So, yeah.
Okay, next topic.
Tiafoe is exciting. I do like Tiafoe. And I will watch Tiafoe and Nadal because, like you said, Manly, that will be an electric match. Why? Because he's from the USA. Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to shift gears to the next topic real quickly. Now, this I thought was an interesting topic, to say the least. Carla, you have mentioned this throughout all of our years together multiple times, coaches that you've had. My sister, was a traveling tennis player, and I think, and my mom or dad would have to mention it in comments. If they're not watching now, they're probably working, whatever. But I know they dealt with it with a coach that traveled with my sister when they were young. Nothing crazy, but you know, it was questionable. Okay, so Victoria Azarenka speaks out about inappropriate coaching relationships between girl students that are teenagers and their adult coaches. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some nuggets out of this article, and then I'm going to let Carla talk about it because she's been around it. And so have I. I watched it happen with my sister. Okay. So here we go. This article is from News Chain Sport. Okay. Victoria Azarenka believes tennis must do more to stamp out inappropriate relationships between male coaches and female players. It has been an open secret within the sport for years that many such situations occur. And Pam Shriver went public earlier this year with the revelation that she was involved with former coach Don Candy when she was a teenager. French player Fiona Ferro, meanwhile, has accused her former coach Pierre Boutieri of rape and sexual assault, with the case now the subject of legal proceedings. Okay, quote, if I had a daughter, I would have a question, would she want to play tennis? That would bring a very big concern that way for me. Okay, Victoria Azarenka is on the WTA Women's Tennis Association Player Council, and following her third-round victory at the U.S. Open, the Belarusian said, quote, "It's a very sensitive subject because you won't hear those stories unless players come out and tell those stories. It happens right and left on the tour, which is unfortunate." Okay? Anyway.
It's a sad thing. When I was in big volunteers, as a matter of fact, the girls that I was staying with, so we had 4 bunk beds on one side, 4 bunk beds on the other side, like 1 room here, the bathroom in the middle, the bunk bed, you had the living room, the kitchen. These were apartments. And there was a very beautiful girl. She was German. I think I was 14 years old. She was my age. And they were talking about, the girls were like whispering about how she has to keep it hush hush because the coach got in trouble for having a relationship with her. And this was at a volunteers camp. And the guy was older. And you hear it all the time. It's very sickening to me that I feel like I will never nor my son, travel with a coach. I don't care how much I trust them, because things happen when you're alone together. I feel like the older person manipulates the younger mind, especially if they're not around their parents.
Brainwashes them,
especially as a girl. You don't have your dad around with you. You have this coach traveling with you. They become like a father figure, and then on top of that,
they're peeking and looking,
and they show you stuff. They show you stuff little by little, and it'll start little by little. And this is an innocent girl. Maybe that's these tennis players never had a normal date with a boyfriend. They never got the chance because they were always training. So they're learning as they go, and that's not a good thing. They're experimenting. Kids experiment, teenagers
I tell you what, if someone experiments on my daughter in any way, shape, or form, I'll be I won't be sitting here. I'll be elsewhere with no freedom.
So I mean, it definitely does go on a lot. As a matter of fact, you see a lot of these professional tennis players end up marrying their coaches.
Gene Swartz says Coco Gauff broke serve and is up 4-3. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful. I've never had to experience that because my dad was always around. He was always around me, and there was one coach that liked me, but he was a lot older. But he never tried because my dad was always there.
Well, knowing you would probably punch him in the face.
Yeah, and I was bigger than him. He was a small coach, so yeah. But I remember one hitting coach. And I think he probably did it to protect me. And I actually thanked that coach. He was going to be like my hitting coach when I was trying to do challengers and stuff like that. I was going to hire him. And I had a crush on him. And he was an older man. I was 18 and he was an older man. Very good looking, blonde, tall guy, strong. And he told me on the phone, you know what? He's like, I don't think that we should continue
this relationship.
No, we didn't have any relationship.
I mean, coaching from a coaching
yes,
standpoint.
He said, I don't think this is a good idea. And I'm glad that he did that. And this is what happens to girls, some of these coaches are like great looking, they're in shape and you don't know what to do. You're a young girl, never experienced anything. You have to be careful with the innocent mind. So I'm sure that happens a lot. Positive.
You just brought up another topic in of itself. Here in the United States, you see a lot of coaches that are big time out of shape. They got bellies hanging over there. They look like, they chug 74 beers. It looks like they haven't stopped drinking beer since college or something. If you are a parent and you are bringing your kids to what they think are high level tennis lessons, do you think twice about going to that coach because the coach is grossly overweight? Like, aren't you supposed to lead by example?
Yeah, I mean, there's some older coaches. There's nothing they can do. But yes,
you said Nick Balotelli wasn't grossly overweight.
No, he wasn't grossly overweight. Yeah. He has so many young coaches around him.
Exactly. But were any of them grossly overweight?
No.
What I'm saying is for me, I have a big problem with that.
That's the problem, but that's a problem too because I'm telling you that these coaches in did Patrick Mateo have sexy time with Serena? But I'm sure it happened.
Yes, I'll show you a picture.
This is what I'm telling you. Like, I remember that hitting guy. He was a hitting coach. He was tall like Patrick Bertaglio, in shape. Like, I remember him. He was in shape. He was a good-looking dude. Like, girls, But at least he was an adult to say that, because I don't know.
I'm going to show a couple of pictures for Van Lee. Van Lee just said something about, did Serena and Patrick Mouratoglou have sexy time? Oh, yes, for sure. Let me show you a couple pictures.
Sexy time.
Here are the two.
Well, you can't fake the picture.
Now, look, he does look better than Alex Ohanian. Like, so I don't know how. Oh my God. I don't know how she went there. But there's one picture. Now, there's a picture that circulated for a while. Here it is. I got my hand up on your hip. If you did, you did, we did.
But she's not a young girl.
I got my hand
She's
up
not
on
a young
your hip.
girl. She's a woman there already.
But either way, but I'm saying
But that's different. Kvitova is like marrying her coach. She's a grown woman. Like she's like late 20s. That's not a problem.
Serena's got the hand in the back
That's
pocket.
not the problem. That's not a problem to me.
Oh, so cute.
That's not a problem. They're grown women. I'm talking about when they're super young.
Do you think Alex Ohanian gets pissed off when Matragalu's around?
He's no longer around, so I'm sure he's like, yeah.
Maybe they're like all in the same house together.
I don't know.
Maybe they're like a trio.
Maybe he's got a secret weapon.
She's a
Maybe
menage.
he's got a secret weapon that Patrick doesn't.
Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. I think he just had the billion, and that Maratoglu did not. I think.
Is the picture really worth 1,000 words?
Yes, it is. That one is.
Isn't Ohanian Jewish?
Look, let me ask you a question. If you are walking around, you are walking around with
Patrick is married again.
Yeah, this was a couple years ago or a few years ago. If you're walking down the street with a mega famous star and your hand is in her back pocket on that ass, you are hitting that. That's a fact. If not, that's kooky. That's strange. he was tapping for sure. That might be Patrick Jr. I guess Alex claimed that already, but you got to be careful.
She looks like her dad.
Yeah.
But his wife is beautiful. Like, he likes the dark chocolate, but she's, but I think she's French, and their children are beautiful. 1,000 words in a bottle of eye bleach. Ooh la la, Serena. Ooh la la, Serena.
Ooh la la.
Serena.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
There you go. Too close for comfort. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, so cute. Oh, I got a kiss. I found a picture of the kiss.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. Look, kiss, girl. And now she's got her hand on his left ass cheek. See that? She's squeezing the butt. Okay?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sure her husband hates looking at those pictures.
I don't know.
And that had to be awkward though, knowing that your wife, an ex or coach, had something going on in the past before you.
Yeah.
And they're always together. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't you be uneasy? I would be uneasy.
I would too.
I'm sitting in the box.
Especially if the dude is better looking than you, and you're like,
are you thinking in your head, is this guy better than me? Like where it counts? Like is he more packageable?
I don't know. I'm not a guy. I don't think that way, but I don't know. I have to be uncomfortable.
I came across an interesting fact today, by the way. We were talking about Tomljanovic and how Serena did not congratulate her for winning, and that is definitely worth a congratulations. But I read that Tomljanovic and Berrettini were dating. Now that's not old news. That's not new news. They had been. I thought they had been dating since like 2019 or something, but I thought they broke up.
They did break up. I could not find anything saying that they're together.
So here's the question for all of you. Is Tomljanovic and Berrettini still a thing?
I could not find anything. I think that was something old.
Secondly, did you all know that Tomljanovic and her years of playing has never won a WTA event? Never. No premier, no major, obviously, no 250, the commensurate for the men's anyway. Mm-hmm. Never won a WTA event. Do you think she will?
I mean, I don't know why she can't, I mean, I don't know. She's got all the tools for it.
She's got variety.
For sure.
I think she's lacking that dagger, that weapon. We always tell students when we begin training them, we're going to work on everything. We're going to be an all-court player. We're going to work on offense. We're going to work on defense. We're going to work on tactics. We're going to work on footwork and fitness. But we want to find that one weapon, if not multiple weapons, where if you get the opportunity to use that weapon, the point is yours, right? Some people look at the short forehand. Okay, if I get the short forehand, the point is over. Some people say, if I get the backhand down the line open, I'm taking the shot. If I got someone returning too far off the court, then I'm going to take the serve up the tee. I'm gonna own it, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has generally a guided missile weapon, right? What is your weapon, for instance? When you go out on the tennis court, if you get a look at one shot,
backhand down the line.
Backhand down the line.
Give me the backhand. I know in my head already.
It's over.
It's over. Yeah, I believe. I laugh. I smile. Actually, I'm like, yes.
You smile before you hit the shot.
Thank you very much.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
Thank you very much. I mean, some of these comments are funny. I mean, William says, let's just say if her hand is in your back pocket, and he's got his hand in her front pocket, I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to the hotel.
Bentley says we might see the battle of Tomljanovic's ex-boyfriends.
Could be.
And then he says both her boyfriends play today, probably win today.
Do you remember?
To me, first of all, what was she thinking, Nick?
Oh, that's right.
I could see
Kyrgios.
Berrettini more. Not my type of dude. You know, his body's kind of funny because he's got these big ass, like he's so super big on the top and
Yeah.
then little on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, she did better with him, much better.
Yeah.
But Nick, any girl that goes out with Nick is ugly. He looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I would not look at Nick twice. Like one time and be like, ugh. And then I would not even turn around to look at him.
Makes sense.
Even if he's like Nick, you know, like let's say his tennis and all, I wouldn't even look at him. No thanks. And she's pretty. I don't know why. What's up with these girls?
Yeah, Tomjanovic is a pretty girl.
But what's up with these girls?
Sure.
Because if you see Nick's girls, they're pretty. Like, are they okay? Like maybe I would be his friend just to get close to Kokkinakis.
And didn't he just
kick
one of them out of the box the other night? Didn't he just say, "Get out of my box"?
I mean, yeah.
Like if you had a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you were whatever it is that you do, whether you're at work or maybe you're at home, and you have someone that is not your wife or mother or something telling you to get lost, would you sit there and lap it up? Like if I was Tomjanovic, if I was Nick Kyrgios's girlfriend in that box when he was spitting on the court and basically
just gross.
What would you have done, Carla? Would you have sat there and
No,
smiled?
I would have walked. And then you got to think about with the future with him when we're behind closed doors. How will he be? Don't judge his book by its cover. Not only is he ugly on the outside, he is ugly on the inside. Look how he acts.
Water bottle on the sideline.
This is the way he acts that makes him look ugly, Bozidar.
Look, I picked him to win the tournament. We're not saying we hate him. And what's up, Bozidar? Good to hear from you. We don't hate them. It's just it's the sportsmanship mixed with he's not the most handsome guy. He's a great tennis player, but he has.
And you don't even have to look like Monfils. He's not so handsome, but I could see why girls are attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fun guy. He makes you laugh. He seems easygoing. It's somebody you want to meet. But Nick Kyrgios, you have to think like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to think about it. Like.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. At what point do you draw the line between super hot and I'm not going to put up with you anymore? So here, let's say you're a guy and all of a sudden you're dating this super hot, like boom, like Carla type girl, right?
I'm not hot. I'm average. So stop it.
Okay.
I'm hot in your eyes.
Okay. Good. Thank you for being humble. But let's say you're dating a supermodel caliber, like damn, Miss Parker really fine as woman, right? You're dating her. But she treats you like shit, like really bad. Where to your point, it's like your parents are saying, why are you letting this girl treat you that way? Blah, 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 blah. At what point do you finally say enough, even though she's smoking hot, and say, I'm done? At what point do you say it's not worth it? My point would be when Kyrgios is spitting on the court and yelling at you.
You're not supporting me, bro. You're not supporting me. I'm like, come on, dude. Don't talk like that.
Yeah, and then oddly enough, at Wimbledon, he yelled to the box that you're not saying enough or you're saying too much or whatever. But then when he played Kokkinakis, he's yelling at him for saying too much.
Not Kokkinakis, it was the other
whoever. But so he'll say one thing one time and yell at his box and then say the complete opposite. So where do you draw the line? You can't say too much. You can't say too little. So at what point are you just tired of it, right? Ask yourself that question. If you're a dude, at what point does beauty turn off?
Friendly, why do you gotta say it like that? Kokkinakis smashed Bekic.
True.
But why would you
That's
use
not
that?
bad. It's true.
Smash Bekic.
It's trash. He did smash it.
That's awful.
Why is that awful? It's better than saying the alternative.
All those girlfriends that you had, you say you smashed them, or that you had a relationship with them?
Same difference. He just chose a different adjective or verb in that sense. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I know guys that are like, man, she got hot.
Thank you, Bozidar. Smash is off because to me the smash sounds like you had no respect for the woman.
Well, she's not talking to him right now.
No, but
we're sitting here on the couch, right?
But I would never say I smashed that dude. Then that would be trashy.
But that's not. You don't smash. Okay. You are smashed.
Stop. I don't even want to hear this. That's disgusting. I didn't even know that word could be used.
Okay, since we're talking about Nick Kyrgios will step on court versus Daniil Medvedev in a little while. Kyrgios has a 3-1 head-to-head record against Kyrgios. Let me ask a couple of questions. A, who wins? B, do both of them have theatrics? In other words, do both of them lose their cool? Do both of them start acting like idiots? Because both players are notorious for acting like idiots, right? Mm-hmm. The third question is this. if Nick Kyrgios and Daniil Medvedev stepped into a boxing ring or a UFC ring and took the gloves off and they had just bare knuckles and they got in the ring, who wins that fight? And maybe you could even arrange that fight. They'd probably get paid more than their U.S. Open match on pay-per-view. Could you imagine that? Ding, 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 ding. Medvedev and Kyrgios.
I feel like they're both badasses.
Who would win the fight?
That would be even. Medvedev could fight.
No, I think Medvedev wins it because I think Kyrgios is just a big baby with all talk. I think he barks a lot, but he has no bite.
Medvedev could fight.
I wouldn't be scared of Kyrgios in a dark alley, but Medvedev, oh shit, I might be a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Kyrgios, no worries for me.
Not making fun of the war. Without smashing, there would be no people in this world.
Good job, Surgeon. We agree with you, bro.
Can you just enjoy being together? Can you just say that?
Hey.
Like, can you just say, just enjoy being together?
Surgeon, I got an idea. We should make a 5K tennis shirt. No. Listen, we should put a 5K here, and then below, we should put, I just smashed that. Because you smashed the overhead. You said, yeah. You smashed the overhead.
Oh, my God.
So I just smashed that with the 5K, and then send it to Bozador.
Oh, my God. Let's smash it more love. Make it, please. I would not wear the shirt.
I just smashed that because you smashed the overhead. You smashed the serve, right? Yes, Bekic, trouble mine. Bekic did smash Kokonakis.
Kokonakis is fine. I mean, it could have been the other way around. She used it.
Wasn't Wawrinka involved in there somewhere? Didn't Wawrinka?
That was her boyfriend.
Wawrinka,
why are we talking about these?
There's a whole lot of smashing going on. A lot of smashing going on.
Why is the show turned to? Exactly. Let's stop.
All right.
All right. Anyways.
Okay. What?
No, back is bad at smashing.
Yeah.
That's right. He does have a hard time with that shot.
That's right. Let me ask you a question. The crowd in New York City tonight, are they going to be pro Medvedev or pro Kyrgios?
They're going to be pro Kyrgios.
I agree with you. I think they'll be pro Kyrgios as well.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it's a good match. Are you excited about watching?
I'm actually going to sit down and watch it. So it's at 6 o'clock. I'm like 3:52. All right. Yes.
And I'm cooking tonight. So Chef Justin here is going to make chicken cordon bleu stuffed with feta cheese, some Swiss, some great tomatoes diced up, some fresh sage, some fresh oregano, some fresh cilantro, stuffed toothpicks to hold it open. Beautiful. I can't wait to do it. Let's go. Not Carnival Eats. JD1 Eats. Okay. Will Kyrgios win or will Medvedev win? Carla.
I say Kyrgios will beat him.
Can you poll question it? Who wins, Kyrgios or Medvedev? Kyrgios was 3-1. I think Medvedev wins this one though in 5. Even though I picked Kyrgios to win the tournament, and I placed a $50 bet on Kyrgios with Mike Walker in New York for Kyrgios to win the tournament. So I bet 50 plus 800 odds, so we'll win $400. So I actually bet on Kyrgios to win it, but I think Medvedev wins tonight. I hope Medvedev loses though, because the 2 people left for us to give $700 to, right? Mm-hmm. They both have Medvedev, right? So I want Medvedev to lose, but I won't be upset if he does. Or doesn't, rather. Okay? I can't wait to watch that match for sure. Okay, next topic. This has to do with equality in prize money. Not in tennis. Tennis has done a pretty good job about getting women's prize money on par with the men's at majors, right? Pretty much, we talked about this for 4 years on this channel, and before that, before we started doing it. Okay? We all know that Brittany Griner, the WNBA player, was playing basketball in Russia when she was caught with hash oil or vape canisters that contain THC, marijuana, and she was sentenced to 9 years in prison, right? It's no joke. God bless her, and I hopefully she will find a way to get out, and I hope the government is working on that. They should. There's no need to spend 9 years in a Russian prison for a little bit of freaking something that's legal in almost every state here.
Let me, Justin, okay, so you mentioned that thing that happened to her.
Terrible.
So in the news,
she's a tool of war.
In the news,
now she's a prisoner of war because of the Ukraine thing.
In the news yesterday, there's an officer or ex-officer that was given 90 days of prison time, and of course he would get he would be listed as a sexual offender for molesting, sodomizing his 2 stepdaughters.
Awful.
90 days.
He should get life.
90 days, but yet this girl brought something that she said she didn't know, it wasn't actual pot, but something that has whatever.
Yeah, hash oil, THC, whatever.
And was given 9 years.
Well,
I'm like, what is wrong with this picture in the world?
we have to think about two things, though. There's the war going on with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and I think the people in Russia would say, hey, more like it's the Western invasion of Ukraine, so that's why they're fighting. But she is a propaganda piece. She is a trading tool in case. Anyway, but that's not why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because upon researching this, because we were talking about it today while we were grocery shopping, we grocery shop in Mississippi. It's just quicker. It's a little bit nicer than Walmart, whatever. But I said, Carla, why do these girls play in Russia? Okay, why do they even go there? Okay, let me tell you what the league average and the WNBA is for the women. Okay, and the WNBA, if you add up all the active rosters, there's a total of 151 players. Okay, that are on the active rosters. They average between all 151 $102,000 a year salary. So those 151 people, sure, there's some paid more than that, some less, but the average is about $100,000 a year. Now I said, okay, well, what are the men paid in the NBA? So I looked this up and I did the math. So in the NBA, there's a total of 450 players. Okay, there's a bigger bench. They have the spring league and whatever. They're players that filter in to the squads where the WNBA really does not. Anyway, there's a total of 450 active NBA players at any particular time. The average salary of each one of those men is a whopping $7.5 million a year. So the average male player makes $7.5 million in a year, and the average woman makes $102,000. The total budget for paying employees, in other words, the owners paying the players, and the WNBA, if you do the math, 102,000 times 151 players, they are shelling out $15 million a year in contract money. On the flip side of that, the 7.5 million times 450 players comes out to be 3.375 billion. Now you ask me why they're playing in Russia is because they can't afford not to. As 30 women this year, after Briner was incarcerated, have signed up to play in Russia. 30 women have signed to play in Russia since this has happened to her. Okay, wow. I think that the owners of these WNBA teams, which by the way, some of them own football teams or are co-owners of this and own arenas to put them in. I can assure you that they can afford to pay them more than $102,000 a year. We were talking about Jelani Sarr earlier in the show, young aspiring junior, working his butt off. Dad's coaching him. It's expensive to travel. It's expensive to stay in hotels. It's expensive to eat out every day. Like Carla, you and I have 5 kids. How many times, Carla, do we have to go to different events over the years, whether it's baseball or whether it's tennis, and everyone else that's at the tournament says, hey, we're going out to eat. We're going out to eat. We have to say, we have to lie and say, no, we already got our dinner at the room or whatever because we can't afford to, right? It's expensive to travel, especially when there's a group of you. And that's why the WNBA needs to do more for the players. They exploit them the same amount. They play a lesser schedule. Maybe you need to play more games. Maybe you need to do a better job marketing the apparel or the athletes themselves. But the reason why 30 women have signed up to play in Russia, the same country that has incarcerated Brittany Griner, what's up, girl, have incarcerated her for a measly misdemeanor in the U.S. and legal in most of the states. Right?
Terrible.
Just saying.
That's terrible. 9 years is ridiculous.
Okay, next topic. This is a dumb me moment. A dumb me moment. I just realized today, even though I've been watching it all week, I just realized today that there are no lines judges at the U.S. Open. Okay, there's a computer going up, up, and it gets kind of annoying. I think that you kind of change the pitch of the voice because all of a sudden you're up, up. Anyway, no line judges at the U.S. Open. What are your thoughts on that? Does it bother you? Do you not care?
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
I do care. I care because it's another example of people losing jobs to computers. I was talking to Jeff Hornsby today.
If there were no lines judge, Novak would have never gotten disqualified.
Whatever, that's a different story.
So, yeah.
But I was talking to a friend of mine. He's also a Yonex ambassador, and he coaches a high school team, a tennis team that is. I was talking to him today about whatchamacallit. He was talking about he was going to Walmart and they had taken out all of the cashiers and replaced it with more self-checkout lines. And I feel his pain on that. What are your thoughts about that? Do you like to go to Walmart and see all the self-checkout lines? Even if you like to go through I like to do my own groceries. I do. I like to self-checkout. I like to do it myself. I can double bag it. I can put the glass with some plastic so it doesn't. Anyway, but every time I see that, I think to myself, how many jobs are being lost? How many mothers can't feed their kids? How many people don't have insurance? Okay. The second reason why I don't like it is another example of the loss of tradition. Does anyone care about tradition anymore? Okay, lines judges, like the chair umpire, like the umpire in baseball. Look, they could put a computer behind the plate in baseball, and they would get much better calls. How many times do baseball players get called ball when it's a strike or strike when it's a ball? All the time. Sometimes World Series and playoff games are decided upon the umpire making bad calls. Why doesn't MLB, the Major League Baseball, why do not they change it? Tradition. So far in all of major sports in the U.S., the only sport that is holding on to tradition for the most part is baseball, right? Tradition is important. I think, there's a lot of traditions that I believe in, and I teach my boys, my own kids this. Stand up when a lady enters the room. Never sit down when a lady's standing. Always put your grocery cart back. Always wipe the toilet seat off when you take a piss and sprinkle all over it, especially if you don't lift the seat up. Wipe the damn toilet seat off. What else? What else is one of my things? Say a blessing before you eat. Don't eat until the ladies have eaten. Don't even touch your food until a lady has touched hers. Am I right or wrong? Don't extend your hand to a lady. Don't try to shake her hand. Wait till she tries to shake yours. These are things that I teach my boys or I get pissed, right? But here we are at the U.S. Open, just throwing out the damn line judges. Maybe it's not important to anyone. It's opinionated, but it's important to me. Okay, tradition is important. Just saying. Okay, next thing. Davidovich Fokina has got legs. He's got legs. However, if you watched his match today, he went after a ball and slid on the hard court, kind of tweaked his knee a little bit, and it kind of shook up his focus there in the fifth set against Berrettini.
He should have given some of his legs to Berrettini. It would have matched his body a lot better.
Just before that happened, I thought to myself, if he keeps sliding like that with those thick legs, he's gonna stick, in other words, slide on the hard court and then get caught up, and the sneaker's gonna buckle, and he's gonna go down, and all of a sudden it happened. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to slide on the hard court, but it's risky. And I understand that people like Djokovic and a lot of these players do flexibility exercises and weight room training to prepare for that and get special sneakers as to slide on a hard court. I can assure you, though, junior players with regular shoes you get from Tennis Warehouse or from New Balance or whatever, I would not recommend you trying to emulate these players at majors. These players have hard court shoes with flat bottoms, slick bottoms, so they can slide. They're in the gym. They're working out. They're doing flexibility things. Ask Novak Djokovic. It is not good to slide like that on a hard court unless you have trained for it, unless you have the shoes for it, and you are willing to risk injury. Ask Davidovich Fokina. He buckled his knee, and all of a sudden the set was 6-2 in the fifth. Anyway, he's a bit too intense, though. I wrote this. Davidovich Fokina is a bit too intense. He's always going, come on, every shot, come on. He's kind of like Carlos Alcaraz. He's always going, come on, every shot. Berrettini would miss the ball, and he'd be like, let's go. I'm like, chill out, dude, chill. You can't think freely if you're all intense all the time. Ask Tsitsipas, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes too much intensity can be a bad thing. Question. The players that have too much intensity that cost them are who? Tsitsipas. Sometimes Shapovalov gets a little too intense.
Yeah.
Davidovich Fokina.
Motet
was
the same way.
Think about this. Sometimes we lose our sense of thought process because we're being too intense. I'm one of those. What happens when I get mad, Carla?
Yeah.
I lose all thought of reality, and then I end up doing something stupid or getting hurt. Okay. Now she just mentioned Motet. You all know that. That Denis Shapovalov, we call him OG Shapo, because he released an album, a rap album with Motet, which, by the way, is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay, so I wrote, I went to the song. The song that they released is called Rise, R-I-S-E. Okay, and it's the most cheesy rap song you've ever heard in your life. And he did it with.
Oh, it's called Rise. I thought it was called Drip.
Oh, Drip. I think it's called Drip. Yes, Drip.
Like Rise. I was like, okay.
Okay, so Motet and Shapovalov released this song called Drip. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture real quick of the cover. Now, this is OG Shapo and Motet.
That's old, yeah.
Either way, look at these bozos. They're acting like they came from the streets or something. Like, these kids came from the most silver spoon family you could ever imagine. Silver spoon, there you go. Okay, now let me show you another picture. Oh man, don't be scared. Mutet and Chapo are coming into your neighborhood. Watch out, they might hit you with a drive-by or something. Man, look at these two little girls, man. Listen to their songs and you'll realize how much of little girls they really are. Now, I listened to the song and I couldn't find the lyrics. I listened to it, but the lyrics were so stupid and elementary that I had to try to write them down. So I Google searched it, lyrics to the song Drip from Mutet and Shapovalov. And no one had it. It said you could sign in, but they would just be the song. So what I did is I kind of paused, played, so I could write down a couple of their lyrics. Okay, here's one I stopped and quoted. Okay, why y'all hating on me? Cause I'm in first place.
Oh man.
Who? You in first place? All right. He still jumps and is one-handed back in. Okay, here's another one. Gotta get him another drip down. What's that? I mean, tell me what. I've never heard this. What's a drip down, bro? I'm not quite sure what that is, Chapo. Okay, here's another one. You'll be talking while I'm doing a drive-by in my Grand Prix. Like, what? You're gonna do a drive-by? You, OG Chapo, you're gonna shoot up the neighborhood? Huh?
With little Mutet.
And little Mutet, you guys are gonna just thug out and be the trappers that you think you are. Okay, now here's the more funny thing. He says, "While I'm in my Grand Prix, isn't a Grand Prix a Pontiac?" So he's riding by doing a drive-by in his Grand Prix, talking about I'm in first place. Okay, here's another one. This is the one that I liked. This is the one I liked a lot. Nowadays, everyone want to be like me. I gotta teach them the ABCs. That's the most elementary rhyme I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
Come on, OG Chapo. Come on, bro.
A, B, C, D.
No, why?
E, F, G,
Yeah.
H, I, J.
He should have just sang the alphabet
Oh,
song.
man, no.
There you go. Oh, my.
Damn, I learned something new today. Thank you, Chapo.
OG Chapo.
Oh, man.
Okay, next thing has to do with Casper Ruud. Okay. For 4 years on this channel, since we first started, I mentioned that Casper Ruud was a very talented player and he would be top 10-5 in the world. You guys laughed at me.
I laughed at you.
Carla laughed at me. A lot of you laughed at me.
No, they laughed at you saying he would win Wimbledon.
I didn't say he would win Wimbledon.
Yes, you did.
Find that in history. If someone finds that, I'll send you 2 sets of
Gene
white text
Schwartz,
strings.
did he not say that Casper Ruud was going to win Wimbledon or French Open? The French Open.
He made the final.
But you say he was going to win the French Open. We were all laughing at you.
I still don't remember saying that.
No,
if you find,
we didn't laugh at you that he was going to be top 10 because he was already.
If you find where I said, I thought Casper Ruud would win the French Open, if Nadal was playing,
did he not choose him in his final fantasy? Did he
I
not?
don't remember. Find it. Back it up.
It's there. We need to go back to. Man,
Okay, here's my thing about Casper Ruud. The other day we were at the club and I take a shower there because I'm drenched in sweat and we drive almost an hour home and I hate driving home smelling bad. So I took a shower as always and I got out of the shower and I opened the door that's in front of the shower and it was like a closet. It's a closet, but I had never opened the door. So I opened the door and this is what I saw when I opened the door. Okay. This is what I saw when I opened the door. A water heater that had Ruud on it, spelled the same way, Ruud. Is that Casper Ruud's family or his family business? Right? Have you seen this? Did you see this at the club?
Yes, you showed it to me.
So my question is I got out of the shower and I saw a hot water heater and it said Ruud on it. Does his family build hot water heaters? If someone can tell me the answer, I'll send you a set of white text strings. I don't know. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I opened the door, boom, there's Ruud. And I'm thinking, oh, that's how he's rich. Because most of these players, to have the ability to pay for lessons and to travel, as we're trying to help Jelani, are very wealthy. And so I'm thinking maybe Casper Ruud's family is in the water heater business.
I don't know, but I'm going to find this.
What, the Ruud thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving forward, we talked about Coco Gauff. We talked about OG Chapo. Casper Ruud, back to him for a moment. Casper Ruud will play Berrettini in his quarterfinal. Are you interested in that match at all? Are you excited to watch it? Do you think whoever wins that match will win the tournament? What are your thoughts? Interested? Is it a popcorn match?
You're saying Nadal beats.
Look at it later.
Oh, you said Nadal beats Ruud.
Yeah, I know I didn't pick him to win.
But you said it.
Because Nadal was in it.
Oh.
And that's what happened. I said it and I said it correctly. Yeah. By the way, do you have the leaderboard for the fantasy team?
Yes, I do.
By the way, there's only 2 of you left for the $700, but remember, there will always be 2 winners for the fantasy team. And we have both Gene Swart, what's up, my brother, and Thomas Chi. Both of them got on the same song sheet and got their scores correctly.
All right, here we
So
go.
this is the updated leaderboard. 2 of you will win $50 each. If you would rather have more money than $50 worth of merchandise from either 5K Tennis, meaning hats, shirts, visors, that's great. If you'd rather have more money in strings, like, a set of strings might be $15, but instead of getting, $50, you might want $100 worth of strings. We can do that as well. Leaderboard, 2 people will win, and it's not going to be us. Okay.
All right, Zhangzi Chi.
That's Thomas Chi's brother.
Amazing.
So he's in first place.
With Alani is in first place.
Oh, female is the top of the leaderboard.
They're tied.
Let's go, Alani.
Zylu Wang with 56 points is in the second place, well, third place, really, because there's, Antek Kaminsky is in fourth place. Zest for Life, fifth place. No, wait, Zest for Life and Antique Kameniki are in fourth place. And then Hitchhiker, fifth place or sixth place, and BRBN High.
Be Riding High. And Be Riding High is still alive for the 700. He's one of the
So
2.
Justin's in 11th place or 12, and I'm in 18th.
Yeah. Okay, and also this is one of the last things I have, by the way. Carla and I were both very surprised that nobody selected Iga Swiatek to win this tournament in terms of for the $700 pot. I don't understand why we would do that. She's been the hottest player on tour all year long. It's the end of the season. She had a very long match streak, like 37 matches. I think she lost then to Garcia or somebody.
Mm-hmm. In
Poland or somewhere.
She lost to somebody at the Poland Open. Hey, what's up, Stefan?
Let's go, Nizovic.
Are you those type of fans that watch tennis for one person?
Let's go.
Or because you love tennis?
Let's go. Good to see you, bro. Watch the whole show for sure. Stefan, by the way, it's always great to see him. Fine gentleman, tall, basketball playing, handsome young man. Great to see you. I hope all is well. I'm surprised, though, no one picked Swiatek, right? Mm-hmm. When I was doing my finals predictions, I selected Halep, but my other choice was Swiatek, and I figured everyone would choose Swiatek, and I would just choose Halep to be different.
I think because she went out early in the hardcourt season, she complained about the balls.
The balls, yeah.
People didn't pick her. That's why.
I don't think, though, that Jabeur or Pegula will win it. I don't think so. I think
for me,
I think Goff or Swiatek will pull it out.
I think we'll be surprised.
I think this could be Goff's first one. I really do. Swiatek, I think, has got a really good shot at it. Kvitova, don't forget about Kvitova out there. She's always hanging around, right? The big game she has. Don't forget about Pliskova. Pliskova is the one that I picked to make the final. And I would love to see Pliskova win her first major. She deserves it. All right. The last thing, quick rundown of the remaining fourth round matches. Here we go, Carla. Zhang and Goff. Who you got? I mean, it's still ongoing. It might already be over.
Yeah.
Garcia and Risk.
It's over. It's Garcia.
Garcia won that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jabeur and Kudermetova.
That's a toss-up. I'm going to go with Kudermetova just because somebody picked Jabeur.
Okay. That makes sense. Samsonova and Tomljanovic.
I'll go with Tomljanovic.
Swiatek versus Zhang.
Swiatek.
Kvitova versus Pegula.
I think the better will beat her.
Azarenka against Pliskova.
Azarenka.
Let's go, Pliskova. Danielle Collins versus Sabalenka. 2 biatches reaching it out.
Yeah, all my crushes have been knocked out. Definitely Collins.
Just turn the volume down on that match because you'll probably lose your hearing because you got to listen to Sabalenka sound like a ninja. Bah! You got to listen to Collins. Shut up. Turn the volume down. Okay, Medvedev, Kyrgios.
Wait, have you seen her boyfriend? He's intense too. Collins' boyfriend.
He needs to be intense dealing with that thing.
Like, I think Bethany Maddoxon said she hooked him up or something. She did good hooking him up, but like he's intense. He's like, "Come on, baby, come on!" Like he's like really cheering her.
You know, the funny thing is whenever you see a picture of a tennis player, it's never like a smile. Look at me with my
What
racket.
about your picture?
They do this.
That's your picture. So every time you take a picture of the tennis court, you're like this.
Well, yes. I'm guilty of my gripe.
My pictures are always like. You're like
your pictures are always your legs.
No, but when you take a pictures of me,
yes,
I'm just like this. But you're like, I'm like, okay.
Hey, nice to meet you, Mr. Barantini. Pose for this picture. Hold on, let me get my game face on. You know, right? Hey, hey, Sviantek, come over here. Let's take this picture of you hitting a forehand. Okay, hold on.
That's you. You know how to do that perfect.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Kind of like Berrettini and Davidovich Fokina playing today. Every time they hit a winner, it'd be like, like he'd look right at the camera and wait. He'd be like, let's go.
They're gladiators. They're gladiators.
Shut up, dude. All right, Carreno Busta and Kachanov. By the way, I picked Kachanov on my fantasy team. And the quarterfinal, Berrettini versus Rude. Who you got?
Who?
Berrettini versus Rude.
I don't care.
Who do you think will win?
Berrettini should win that.
I think so too. Anyway, okay, that's all I got. Tomorrow is Labor Day here in the United States. We will do a show tomorrow, so we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget.
What? What?
What?
Yeah, I kind of figured that out. I thought she was. I saw some girl that keeps cheering for her, and I said, that's got to be a girlfriend.
Van Lee with a knowledge drop. Van Lee's.
Yeah, every time there's a girl like traveling, I'm like, that must be her girlfriend or something.
Yeah, Van Lee is throwing out. It could be fake news. It may not be.
No, I've always thought that about her.
Caroline Garcia's girlfriend is Podoroska. Interesting.
You know, notice guys how Van Lee knows everything about everything.
He's a beast. Where are you located, Van Lee? Are you in the U.S.?
I don't know, but bring me Mofo for a second.
All right, bring Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero update. Let's get this big man.
Bring me Mofo. I like Mofo right now. He's a beautiful baby. He's a beautiful big.
We'll give you a Sub-Zero update. Oh my gosh.
There's my beautiful baby. There's my big ass baby. Look at that baby. Look at that baby. Your mama's baby? That's right. I'm beautiful. Tell him I'm beautiful, guys. I'm beautiful. I deserve to be a pup model. Yeah, I'm beautiful. He's a big boy.
And he is 9 months old. He'll be 10 months old.
Tell him you mess with my mommy, I'll mess you up.
He'll be 10 months old September 19th. And he's heavy.
Okay. Say bye-bye.
Say bye, Sub-Zero.
Adios.
Say bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you mañana.
All right, grab him. I'm about to get crunched here. Don't drop him. Be careful.